Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Princeton Ellis, also the host of OG Radio, OGNT, and everything else like that. And this is my co-host.
Lamar Creation, entertainment extraordinaire, doing everything from videos to studio time.
Definitely, we have a great show for y'all, and definitely want to let y'all know that One Love, One House has been nominated for a Midwest Music Award. So I want you to go to the website and vote for our show to win this award and everything else like that. And plus, we have a special show because this is our 50th show. So appreciate everybody been showing us love for the show. We have a great show for y'all today. Also, we have candidates coming up, and we're gonna be talking to them too. And we also have Lava, who's gonna do something very poetry for us, and she go ahead and do what she does best.
Hey, all right. Okay.
Give it up for.
I am Lava, the Poet. You can find me on Facebook at Lava Inc. Poetry. That's capital Lava, capital INK, Poetry. If you still don't get it, just get to know me. I inspire small businesses to grow with me, entertain people of all ages to flow with me, replacing fear with power. Generation Now, this is, okay. I'm sorry. Generation Now, this is your hour and your season. I'm giving you a mic and a reason to go from the page to the stage. Let's network and poetically engage for your soul to erupt into words and verbs. Your gift to be stirred and heard, but don't miss your moment. To be seen with a mic clean for people with purpose, I'm on it. Believe when you hear, I am someone you should know. Now listen to the words and let lava flow. I am a champion. And there's no doubt in my mind that I win. Whatever I pursue, I come out on top because I'm a pro at what I do, and what I can't do is stop. I am the original of my visual exterior, knowing the race isn't given to the swift or the inferior, but to the one who endures to the end. I win this race before I begin. Why? Because I'm a champion. I have a gold mindset that manifests in platinum. I speak and hear according to faith and walk my faith into action, but not to profit the whole world, but to lay aside every weight that hinders me, refusing sin as a lifestyle and shaking its dust from my feet and setting my face like a flint, because I am what I said and I said what I meant. I'm a champion. Already crossed the finish line, not looking to the left or to the right, but leaving the former things behind as I trained. I was ordained before the foundations of the world to triumph. My path is directed to line up and fall right into place. When confronted with adversity, I keep a dance in my heart and a smile on my face, but not being arrogant, braggadocious, or phony. It's my banner of confidence waving, you don't own me. I was already bought with a price. Both my frenemies and enemies ask me for advice. I hold the key to their victory while they hurtle through life. I inhale my promises as I exhale and their strife. Competing with me is out of the question. I'm already on top where there's no congestion. Why? Because I am a champion, and that's my flow.
All right. Y'all give it up for Lava one more time. Lava, we really do appreciate you coming and giving us that great poetry. And now we're going to have a little bit more different. This is our election show. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk to some of the people that are getting elected or trying to go for their candidacy. Right now we have one.
Okay, so now we have with us Dennis Snyers, who is running for mayor in this year's Chicago election. So Mr. Snyers, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, I moved to Chicago in 1996 from New York City.
Okay.
I spent 34 years in the financial services industry.
Okay.
I've been the chairman for several not-for-profits here in Chicago. I've served as president of a condominium association, various treasurer positions, and secretary positions.
Okay.
What I want to do for Chicago is I want to restore democracy in City Hall. I want to get rid of all the political patronage. I want to make City Hall more financially responsible.
Right.
And I want to do that by several things. First is I want to let the people of Chicago elect anybody who is in charge of an entity that has taxing powers, such as the Board of Education, the Chicago Park District.
Okay.
I want to also give Chicago taxpayers something that the citizens of every other city in America has, but we don't have here in Chicago. and I want to give taxpayers the right to vote on bond issues.
Okay.
If taxpayers are paying the bills, taxpayers should be able to control how much debt the city takes on.
Absolutely.
Right.
Chicago also has 50 city council members. We're the only city that has that large city council. If you look at Los Angeles and Houston, cities of similar size, they've got 15 city council members and 1 mayor. If it works in those cities, it should work in this city.
Right.
So one of the things I'd like to do is create a commission that's going to look at those cities, how the government is modeled, and see if that works for Chicago. If they come back and say yes, I'll present it to City Council, then we'll present it to the taxpayers, and then we'll present it to the state legislature for ratification.
Okay.
Okay.
One of the biggest things I want to do, though, is I want to create a commission to look at taking Chicago out of Cook County. And I want to do that because if we do that and we're successful, and I think we will be, we can reduce a lot of the sales tax and eventually some of the real estate taxes that we're paying. If you look at cities like St. Louis, Atlanta, New York, Houston, Los Angeles, San Francisco, each of those cities is also its own county.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
It seems like you really got that real thought out and planned, and I really appreciate that. You look nice too. You look real nice and spiffy.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. But from the looks of it, look like Preston got some questions for you.
Yeah, I do actually want to ask you a couple questions. What is the first thing you want to improve in the 7th Ward?
In the 7th Ward, well, like any ward, I think we have a lot of problems with crime, gangs. Then there's your obvious things like potholes. To me, the issue with gangs and violence in the city has 3 components. There's a human component,
Right.
there's the gun component, and then there's the gang component. So you have to take each of those components, look at it separately, and then work with the community to determine how you're going to address them.
Okay. And my second question is, do you have a plan to create more jobs for Chicagoans and people in Chicago?
Absolutely. One of the things that I do for a living now is I work with corporations that are publicly traded on the stock markets and their senior managers. So I have a lot of connections throughout the country. I'm going to talk with those companies to see what we can do to increase jobs here in Chicago.
Okay.
But I also want to meet with the different communities and neighborhoods.
Okay.
And I want to see what is it that they need. What type of jobs do they want to see in their community? What I hear a lot of City Hall is they're bringing a lot of white-collar jobs to Chicago.
Right.
And that's great. But not everybody wants to work in an office.
Okay.
Some people want to have a blue-collar job. You need to have a city that has both a industrial component and a white-collar component.
Okay.
And if we're going to strive, if we're going to thrive, if we're going to be a economic engine in this state and the Midwest, we need to look at different ways than just bringing corporations to downtown.
All right, those are 2 great,
Absolutely.
very good answers, and I appreciate you answering those. And I believe my co-host does have some more questions. That he
I do have some questions for you. I found out you was going to be here today, and I was sitting on the toilet, and I had to write these questions down so I wouldn't forget them. So I got these questions for you right here. And my first question is, what part of your background would make you the right choice for mayor?
I think my experience in the financial services industry gives me an excellent background, along with my participation in various community groups,
Okay.
such as not-for-profit organizations and my condominium association. So working with corporations and their shareholders, I have in-depth knowledge of how finances work.
Okay.
I've not seen any demonstration from our City Hall, either through City Council or our mayor, that they have a understanding of what needs to happen financially to make Chicago a success. What I have seen is them taking our money and basically throwing it away when they issue new bonds and they don't use the money for the purpose that the bond was intended. The same thing with TIFs, tax increment financing.
Right.
Those funds are supposed to remain in that community for what that TIF is intended for. What our City Hall has done, what our mayor has done, they've taken that money and they've used it for other purposes.
Oh, wow.
And that's just wrong. So
Yeah,
we need
it
to
is.
examine where the TIFs are, how much money is brought in, and what they're being used for, and make sure it's used for that. And if it's not being used for that, then we should do away with the TIF in that district.
Okay. I got another question for you. What groups are supporting you, and who are you hoping will support you as well?
I'm looking for support from all those people that have either stopped voting or haven't registered to vote.
Okay.
To me, the 2015 election is going to be a very important election for the city of Chicago. For me, it is not an election about my becoming mayor.
Right.
It's about the destiny and the future of Chicago.
Okay.
We keep electing these people over and over and over again, term after term after term.
True.
We don't have term limits in Chicago.
No, we don't.
And as we've experienced you see these politicians that get into office for life and they lose perspective as to why they're there to serve.
Right.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Okay, well, that's a lot of information to think about. And while we're thinking about this information, yet again, thank you
My pleasure.
very much. While we're thinking about this information, we're going to have Lava, who's sitting in the audience right now, come back and do us another piece while we grasp and think about this deep information.
Right.
Come on, thank you.
I remember seeing the black faces in places with desert between the spaces where the waterfall and the diamond hills met. Walking around, tribing and living, prosperously giving to our children the wisdom of our forefathers. They were kings and queens of lands and things and all that encompassed the color green. So many dialects, we were divided, yet we were unified. Because we had respect, dignity, honor, and pride of who we were, we did not hide because we were beautiful. We knew inside as we danced and sang to the beat of the drum. Together we were strong as we laughed, cried, and hummed among our land, our people, and our Africa. We are free, bold, and have no fear in this place I love. Oh, how I love it here. I remember seeing the white faces in places with people between the spaces where the dust and the selling blocks met. Sitting and standing, chained in line, some clean, some dirty, and some dressed fine. We're still devastated from the journey with our skin still burning from the wounds and stink washed down with salt. We were bid and sold to another man, then pushed and carted to another land, only to meet more Africans with the same dialect as this pale man with simple names that mean nothing. And they call me nigger. What does that mean? That I'm lower than the animals and the ground green because I colored black? Oh Lord, how I want to go back to the motherland, from this land of being a field hand to a man that hates me. But I remember the faces that had a dream, that we could live and tighten the seam of unity and change this land for it to be fit for an African or an American or Indian, a Polynesian, Hawaiian, black man. Now where in the world did he come from? How did he break through the barriers that hung over our heads that seemed to continue to bind us and blind us with only a select few shaking our view that one day a change would come? Until one day, I voted. That's my flow.
Don't give me one more time for Lava. That is a very intriguing, very, very great piece.
Thank you.
Now, tell us what made you start wanting to become like just poetry and just start speaking just from the heart.
You know, in spoken word. Actually, I've been writing poetry since a kid. And actually, one of my business partners had heard my work and caught wind of it and pushed me out there to share it with the world. And I've been doing that for 5 years now.
Okay, that's real great. That's just, I always need somebody to push you. That's small push now.
Business brief time. We have Lisa Rogers here. Tell us a little bit about your business. I was talking to the producers, and they say no one has a business like you do. Like, you must be doing something remarkable.
Yeah, because I'm part of it.
Tell me a little bit something about it.
That's what makes my business incredible, because number one, I'm part of it.
All right.
But secondly, the business that I have is called Witty Inventions. And what it is a virtual assistant business. And so what I do is provide creative and administrative support to business owners. Yeah, so I'm pretty much like an online secretary.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to need to talk to you. I'm trying to get my own business in order, and I may need a little assistance.
Okay.
All right.
I hope I do that because I need a whole bunch of assistance. So
Yeah.
we definitely going to be tuning in for that and definitely going to be getting all our information because we're going to need a lot of help. I know a lot of other people going to need help with that as well.
How could we get in contact with you?
Actually, you can go to my website, which is www.witty-inventions.com.
Okay.
And they can also call me, 708-369-3946.
Absolutely, absolutely. Make sure you got a TiVo on this so you guys can go back and get that information as well. You want to give it to them one more time?
708-369-3946. And the website is www.witty, that's W-I-T-T-Y, -inventions.com.
Thank you, thank you. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you, the audience. I also want to thank Mr. Snyders as well. If you want to come back on stage with us really quick. Thank you guys for your time and your love and the information you guys have given us today. And we want to definitely tell everybody and everyone that's watching at home to definitely do the right thing and vote. If you guys are not registered to vote, make sure you get registered to vote if you are 18 and above. Okay. Also, we're going to close the show out with a little bit of music. So if you guys dance, make sure you guys dance. If you at home, make sure you guys. Oh, that wasn't on the
Before we
thing.
get out of here and wrap this whole thing up, we gonna ask the audience. They're gonna come and ask, questions to our people because they want to know. But at the same time, you always want to know what the people want to know about what's going on out here. So if the people got questions, then we're gonna do our best to have them answer them. So as we, wrap this short, we just always want to get an opinion from the people because without the people, and so we're gonna have our candidate answer some of these questions from the audience. As we have our audience people come up, we're gonna have them answer their questions, and you just answer them, and that's where you want to, how you can, and we definitely appreciate you doing this for us and coming through and having people
Hi,
do it.
can everybody hear me okay? I'm okay? All right, I'm Disco Goddess, and I'm here to ask a question to the mayoral candidate. Mr. Snyers, it seems like Chicago's in a disarray of everything. What is the main focus the moment you win? What would you do?
The very first thing I'm going to do is bring together the community groups, the police department, and some of the activists to talk about the problem we have with crime, gangs, and guns.
Oh, you're going to include
The sitting mayor waited 3.5 years into his term before he held his first public meeting. That was unacceptable. That will be one of the first meetings I hope I'll hold.
Okay. I'm Disco Goddess. I'll bring it over to our audience member here. State your name and I'll get it out.
I'm Nivea Melendez. Why are you running for mayor now instead of the last election or in the future?
Well, during the last election, I was serving on the international board of directors called the Federation of Gay Games. In 2006, Chicago held the Gay Games, and I was the founder of that organization. So I had resigned from that organization last July so I could run for mayor this term.
Where is the 7th ward, and why do you want to be an alderman?
No, he's the mayor.
The mayor.
That's it.
That's it. So I do want to thank our audience members for coming and ask these questions. I really appreciate you for standing here and answering these questions. We really do appreciate it. And anything else you want to tell the people before we get out here and wrap this great show up?
Just make sure you get out and vote next February 24th. It is going to be an important election. For the first time in many, many years, a lot of sitting aldermen who have not had a opponent, they will have an opponent. So let's turn next February's election into the Chicago spring and get a lot of these people out of office who have not been serving us.
I really do appreciate it. We really do.
Thank you.
Good day.
Thank you.
And like I said, we appreciate the whole audience, everybody who came out today. I appreciate Lava for giving us that great poetry. I appreciate Dan Snyder coming here and giving us a lot of great information on mayor and things and why you should vote. My name is Preston Ellis, OG Radio, and everything like that. And
Lamar Creation, Bloodlight Entertainment, and most importantly, appreciate yourself.
we out here.
One love, one house.
Yep.